two poems. The first one is an ode to hypnagogic states. Hypnagogic states is that state that you're in as you're waking up, kind of twilight, half awake, half asleep, where reality doesn't quite seem real. This one plays with the idea of reality and a number of different narrative lines. It's called Bit Player. There was a college girl at the library I sat next to when I was in the 6th grade. She had a gap in her blouse, and I couldn't take my eyes off her breast, nestled inside a white, lacy bra. She noticed I was looking and caught my eye. I blushed purple, but she smiled and winked. She's still winking. I never saw her again. Or I saw her when I left the library. She was standing with a girlfriend. She pointed at me, and they laughed. I'm still standing there, mortified. Well, we kept seeing each other every once in a while, at one place or another, the way that can happen, until one day, in my senior year in high school, she arrived as my English teacher. I wrote a composition about the experience at the library, and she gave me an F. Or an A, and that was the start. Or she pretended not to remember me. Or she remembered, but I was so shy, I pretended not to remember. Or the crush I had on my English teacher has nothing to do with the girl in the library. Or the experience with the girl in the library never happened. Well, many years later, after I finished college, we met again. She was married to a man I worked with, who left her a few years later, and we dated. She became my wife, or she didn't, and I never saw her again. The life I imagined feels like the life I lived. Anyway, this late in the play, no one knows what happened, except the people you loved or thought you loved, whatever they thought. They were involved in their own plays, and who knows what roles you played in them. In a little while, no one will care what happened. The stage will go dark, the final curtain will come down, and rise only on the dead, who remember nothing.
Yay!
Canada geese. We lift our eyes to the call of Canada geese drifting down onto the field like tea leaves settling into a revelation, and watch the high altitude enchanters morph into waddling villagers arguing over spilled corn. Everything looks different up close. Like that classy couple, we envied the moment we were seated near them at the country club. The maitre d' knew their names, while we were out for an anniversary dinner, someplace we didn't belong. They whispered and laughed, looked wealthy, and we hated them, the way country clubs hate Canada geese. Until their talk got a little loud, and we stopped talking about nothing to listen and gloat. They sounded like the geese that walk around crapping on the golf green. But those geese are very different than the high flyers who dispense mantras to leaf peepers and depressives. Wherever we look, we find mirrors or the answers to questions We never ask. The Canada geese are watching and listening too. They're talking about us. They don't get us. We seem so like them, but there are so many of us. Where are our feathers? Why don't we fly? They keep telling us we all share the same moon, but we each have our own sun. When all we want to know is whether dying is like falling asleep or waking up.
Wow.